Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. Cindy here from CLB Craft Creations. Do you remember me? It's been a long time since I've done a video and I apologize for being away for so long. But please bear with me as I try to get back into the swing of things of getting videos filmed. Hopefully we'll have 2 of them up this week, but I'm not promising anything, so at least you have this one. Birthday Blooms is what we're going to be using today, and it's going to be featuring a background technique for just kind of making a gold embossed background for your card. And pretty much anything embossed usually provides a good wow factor. So this is a pretty clean and simple and very easy card to actually create. So let's go ahead and get started. So our pieces are a piece of mint macaron, which is cut at 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, and then folded in half there. And then I have a piece of Whisper White cardstock, which is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. 4 by 5 1/4. Now this is actually some of the thick Whisper White cardstock because I'm going to be doing some embossing, so it will help reduce some of the warping. But you could easily use just your regular Whisper White paper for this. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a little swipe over with my Embossing Buddy. Just make sure that I don't get any strays with the gold. Okay, just kind of give that a, and then we're going to bring in our Versamark ink and we were using the large flower image here, so I'm going to ink up the whole thing. Probably need a piece of scrap paper here. Okay, so I'm just inking that up. I'm going to bring in a piece of scrap here just so that when I go to stamp it, I don't get embossing powder all over my work surface. Okay, get that out of the way. Yeah, so it's been a while since I've been able to actually get in my craft room and create. So I'm glad to be trying to get back to things. My kids' schedule is just they've just kind of gone crazy. So, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and line this up so that I think we want it like that. So I'm going to take this little pointy piece here and I'm going to kind of line that up in the corner here and then just make sure I cover a good portion of the card. But you could do it however you choose to line it up. There's really no perfect way. So that's got my flower going up that direction. And then I'm just going to do a little bit. I want to put a little bit up in the top corner here too. Now this would be pretty just as it is. Now I know you can't really see anything. And then I'm turning this so that it's coming down the other direction, and I'm going to stamp that corner. Try not to overlap them just because they're so pretty. You want to get the full effect of the flower. Okay, so that is done in the Versamark. So I'm going to close that up real quick. And then I'm going to bring in my gold embossing. And I'm just going to go ahead and just going to dip this right into my little bucket here. You do risk getting some embossing powder stuck on the edges when you do it this way, but for me it just kind of helps keep it all contained, and I can usually get off the excess that I don't want. And that looks pretty good. Go ahead and bring in my heat tool. Even with the thicker paper, you still want to let your heat tool heat up real quick before you start putting it onto your paper. The less time that the heat spends on your paper, the better, to keep it from warping. But once your tool is pretty hot, it melts pretty quick. Okay, I think I've got all of that done. I'm just going to kind of put it in the back here just to kind of help reform it. And then we're going to put it on our card and just make sure that we have plenty of adhesive on our card anyway, so we'll be okay. Now I've taken another piece of Whisper White, and this is cut at 3.5 by what did I do this at? I did this at 1 3/4. So 1 3/4 by 3.5, and then I just went ahead and gave it a wide banner cut here. You could also use your triple banner punch for this as well. As long as it does not measure above 2 inches wide, then you can easily do that. Now I'm going to also emboss on this, so I'm going to go ahead and give this a little pat and swipe. And then I'm going to bring in the Dear Friend stamp from that same set, my Versamark. And this should fit just perfectly on here. And it does. So I'm going to just a little bit down from the top, but definitely centered from left to right. Hopefully I got that fairly straight. It looks like it did. Okay, and then again the same thing, just going to dump it right here in my little bucket. Get my gold embossing on there. Okay, and just make sure I don't have any big strays, and then I'm going to go ahead and heat that. That looks good, and we are almost done. Now on my finished card project, I did not stamp the inside, and I do have a piece of white on the inside. So definitely finish off your card with that. You could even stamp in the bottom corner here too with that flower image again, just to carry through the pattern. But for the sake of the video, I'm just going to stick with this the way it is. Now, I'm going to take a piece of this dotted lace trim in the mint macaron, and I'm going to layer that on my card. So I'm just going to take a strip of it. It's probably about, let's see, how much did I cut here? It's 7.5 inches, which is more than enough. And we're just going to take this and we're going to wrap it around. And Scotch tape would probably be best here, but I don't have any Scotch tape handy, so I'm just going to use my snail. And I'm just going to run a bead, couple of beads of adhesive here, just so that it'll hold. Okay. Tack one on there. And this is pretty stretchy, so if you wanted to pull it tight to make sure it's sitting on there nicely, you certainly can. Okay, so there we go. We've got our piece along the side. Now I'm going to go ahead and add this piece, this panel, to my card. And again, you want to make sure you add enough adhesive. Since we did the embossing, it is a little bit warped, so it's going to need a little extra help on there, just so that it stays nice and flat. Okay, just line that up. Okay, now our next step is to take some of the gold metallic thread, and I did not make my my bow ahead of time, which is what I usually do. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this and I'm just going to wrap it a bunch of times, just until I think it looks full enough. And hope that it doesn't keep unraveling on me. Okay, I'm going to go one more time, and then I'm going to bring both of these in the back here, and I'm going to knot it in the back. Just a simple knot. I say simple as I struggle. I left these too long, that's why it's a little harder to manage. Okay, now that went kind of off to the side there, but I can just kind of roll these in the back. And there we go. So I'm going to cut off my excess. Okay. And then I do want to make wanted to make a bow, but I wanted to make it a several strand bow. Now that I've got that done, I'm going to go ahead and add it with a glue dot. Although the glue dot is kind of big, I would probably recommend using something, maybe even a liquid glue. I want to separate those, but I'm going to just go ahead and stick that right in the middle of all those, and then you can kind of spread those out. But I would definitely recommend using like your liquid glue, or you could use the trying to think if you could use glossy accents. You could also even use the fine tip glue. That would work as well. And then we're just going to add some dimensionals. I'm going to add 2 to the top up here. I'm going to put them right here in the corners, because when I add them to my my piece here, I want to make sure that it sticks to the card and not just the ribbon, because we want to make sure that it secures nicely. And then I'm just going to add 1 right down here to the middle and the bottom. Okay, and then our card will be done. And again, don't forget to add your white layer to the inside of your card, just to kind of give it a finished, to make sure you've given it a finished look. Okay, and so then we're just going to center that, and voila! There you go. Beautiful card, and it doesn't take that long to make. So there we go. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you liked today's card project, and that you will tune into the next card video. Thanks guys, I'll see you soon.